I think one of the most frustrating things I've gone through and probably still continue to go through is trying to make my dreams a reality. But sometimes I just feel like it is almost impossible. And that really does boil down to one thing, and that's discipline. So let's talk about how you can make your dreams a reality by understanding the key ingredient, discipline. Welcome to episode number 51 of the Self-Improvement Room. I'm your host, Christy Davis, and today we are talking about our dreams and making them a reality and what we need to do that. Because if you're in pursuit of your dreams and your goals right now, you'll know that there are days where it is just not easy. All right, let's dive straight in today. So when we are looking to pursue our dreams and our aspirations, we often hear about the importance of passion, ambition, and perseverance. And these are definitely high on the importance list, and they undoubtedly play a significant role in shaping our journey towards success. But there is one crucial element that stands as the cornerstone of turning dreams into reality. So if you don't understand and master the art of discipline, it will be incredibly difficult to turn your dreams into reality. Now, I want to first talk about and understand what discipline is. And I feel like I know this pretty well, even though I still struggle. But I know this well because I used to have zero discipline. That's the thing with ADHD. Unless it was a hyper-focus moment, which I didn't really even have a choice as to what I was focusing on, discipline just did not exist in my life. So discipline goes beyond willpower. I think willpower is kind of like a muscle. Eventually it wears out. Discipline also goes beyond having the ability to force yourself to do something. Because again, I think over time you really lose the motivation and passion when you are forcing yourself. It really is a broad range of behaviors and attitudes that come together that are essential for achieving long-term goals. And I think at its core, discipline involves consistency, which is a difficult one, self-control, probably even harder, and commitment to actions that actually align with your objectives. And that's a huge one. Because you can take action every single day. You can take action every minute of the day. But if it doesn't line up with your objectives, with your goals, then it's not going to help. So that really means making conscious choices and taking deliberate steps towards your goals, even when you're faced with obstacles and distractions. And that also means you need to know what steps you're taking. You need to understand what your dreams are, break them down into goals, and then break those goals down into tasks. So there are a few steps to getting to the discipline part. You can't be disciplined if you don't know what you're doing. It's just, that's not a thing. All right, so why does discipline matter when it comes to achieving your dreams? Firstly, consistency breeds success. Consistency is probably one of the main hallmarks of discipline. Whether you're building a business or pursuing your creative stuff, whether you're looking to achieve personal milestones, consistent effort is crucial. It's required for moving forward and achieving your dreams. All right, so why does discipline matter when it comes to achieving your dreams? Firstly, consistency breeds success. I think consistency is one of the main hallmarks of discipline. So whether you're working on your own creative desires or building a business or achieving personal milestones, consistent effort over time is crucial. Discipline is what allows you to show up day after day. That and probably ADHD. Discipline is what enables you to show up day after day, putting in the necessary work and making incremental progress towards your dreams. Without discipline, some days it can be really hard or almost impossible to show up every single day to chase your dreams. Number 2, I really think this is probably where I struggle the most, and that is overcoming procrastination and resistance. I have both of those. My resistance sometimes is so strong that if you're on an exercise bike turning up the resistance, there is not a number on there strong enough to demonstrate the resistance I have for turning up and working towards my goals. Because discipline is what empowers you to tackle a lot of the obstacles you're going to face head on by fostering a mindset that's focused on action rather than avoidance. So it really helps you to take on tasks proactively, even when they seem really challenging. And when you take on something proactively, you are attacking it with passion. If you're doing something because you have to, there's a very different energy that comes with that. Trust me, I've done many, many things in my career because I have to, and it feels different, and it makes it really difficult to continue to chase your goals. Another thing that I struggle with, and this is why I'm putting these things in this podcast, because I figure if I struggle with it, then other people probably do. And that is staying focused even when there are distractions. Now, for me, this one hurts my brain a lot because I am one of those people that can focus very well until something more interesting comes along. I'm like, oh, look, shiny object syndrome. Like, I have to really work hard on staying disciplined enough to focus even when there are distractions. And in today's kind of world where we're all interconnected, distractions are always around, and they make it really challenging to focus on long-term goals because we want everything now, now, now. Our society allows us to have everything right now. So having the discipline to follow through on long-term goals is so incredibly crucial, because without it, distraction levels are just way too high and way too enticing. So discipline really helps you to stay clear-minded and prioritize the tasks that are going to contribute to and move you closer to success. So by minimizing your distractions and remaining committed to those objectives, to your goals, you can move towards turning your dreams into your reality. The next important reason for cultivating discipline is because we need to be able to build resilience when we are faced with challenges. So the journey towards your goal, I believe we really have to find the love for the journey part, because it is very rarely smooth. It is mostly challenging. And if you can learn to not only be resilient in the face of challenge, but actually hit it head on and appreciate that you're learning from every challenge and growing from every challenge, then reaching those goals will be not only easier, but it will be more rewarding. Discipline helps you build resilience by encouraging you to persevere, so to keep going through the challenges. It helps you to view challenges as opportunities for growth rather than giving up. All right, so how do you create discipline? How do you cultivate discipline? Oh gosh, achieving discipline, I think, requires very intentional effort. And I think you need to adopt strategies that support consistent behavior and focus. So let's go through a couple of tips that I've collected myself through the years while trying to build my disciplinary muscle. All right. Number one, as I mentioned or touched on earlier, you have to set clear and specific goals. And I tell you, my husband hates hearing that. He's always hearing me talk about goals and why you need them. And I think I've talked about it so much with him that even if he was going to write down a set of goals, he thinks twice, just out of spite. But setting clear, specific goals matters because clear goals give you direction and motivation, and they really do serve as a roadmap to help guide the actions you take. And I think to implement those goals, you need to really write them down. Now, when I did my counseling qualification, they taught you all about something called SMART goals, which are specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound. And I kind of get a bit scared staying in that SMART kind of criteria when I'm trying to achieve such high, I wouldn't say high, but dreams. I'm not just trying to reach goals. I'm trying to create dreams. So therefore, I think when it comes to the achievable part, I think that kind of can hold you back. So when writing goals, I think they do need to be specific. So what exactly are you trying to achieve? I think they need to be measurable. So how do you know that you have achieved that goal? So you need to come up with something that is measurable. So if I was looking to be part of a radio program, I wanted to be a radio DJ, then I would know that I have reached that goal because I'd be on the radio hosting a show. So that would be measurable. When it talks about achievable, I kind of just really take that out because I think that anything we put our mind to is achievable. But I kind of replace that with really understanding my vision and visualizing what it is I'm trying to achieve. So getting really clear on what it looks like. And I need to make sure that those goals are relevant. So relevant to my dreams. And one of your goals was to go for coffee every single morning because you really needed to clear your mind, then maybe that is not quite relevant to releasing the book. You can go once a week maybe to clear your mind at the start of the week, dump everything that you've got so you can write with a clear mind. But if you're doing that every day, is it going to help you? Is it going to be relevant to your overall goal or your overall dream of releasing the book? So they kind of have to be relevant and time-bound. Always put a time on what you are doing. Every single time I have made a goal and haven't put a time frame on it, I never reach it until I put the time frame on it, because in the back of my mind, I'm like, I can just do that later, or I can put that off. But if I've said on this date, 1 month from now, this will happen, or this will be completed, or this will be released, whatever it is, then I know that 1 month from now, that is when I need to have that done. If I didn't have that time frame in there, then it would get done sometime, maybe. So specific, measurable, visualize instead of achievable, relevant, and time-bound. So break them into smaller milestones so you can actually track your progress effectively. Tip number 2 is to create a bit of a daily routine. You don't have to do the same thing day in, day out. That can be really boring and it might not even get you to your goal. But creating some sort of daily routine matters because a consistent daily routine establishes habits that promote discipline. So if you don't have to think as much because you have already created this daily habit, then it really reduces decision fatigue, which is a real thing. Have you ever gotten to the end of the day and you've had so much on and both you and your partner are like, what do you want for dinner? Your husband's like, or your wife or your partner is like, I don't know, what do you want? And I'm just like, dude, I am tapped out. I've made enough decisions for today. I don't care what we have. Decision fatigue. It is a real thing. And having a consistent daily routine really enhances your productivity as well. So how do you create a routine? It's really about sitting down and designing a daily schedule that includes dedicated time for those tasks that are related to your goals. So it might be about actually working on the specific goal, learning about the goal, or it might be getting ready to put the next steps in motion. But whatever it is, you have to stick to the routine consistently so you can create the habit and adjust it to optimize your productivity, to make sure that you're really making use of your time well and you're creating these habits that you can actually stick to. Tip number 3 is practice self-control and mindfulness. Self-control is an integral part of discipline. So I have quite a lot of self-control when it comes to work these days, but you cannot leave a tub of Biscoff chopping in our house. You cannot do it because I know that I don't have the self-discipline for that. So when it comes to self-control, I really try to focus on the things that I know I can control. So if there is chocolate in the house, then I know that I'm not going to be able to control myself around that. And to be honest, I probably could, but a bit like the decision fatigue, if I'm trying to control myself all day long with everything I'm doing, then I do get fatigued. So I just don't have it in the house. And in fact, I have both in the house at the moment. And let's just say that tub of Biscoff topping, I got the crunchy one, the spread, it's almost empty. So really make sure that when it comes to self-control, you are making decisions and choices that support your long-term goals over immediate gratification. And we mentioned immediate gratification in society earlier. It's everywhere. It's so easy to find gratification. And in fact, that really makes things difficult in the long run. We start to need immediate gratification for us to move forward. And that's a whole other dopamine biology kind of podcast right there. But just know that the longer you can push yourself out from immediate gratification, the better your mind and your body will respond. So I suggest developing mindfulness practices like meditation or deep breathing. So diaphragmatic breathing exercises to help enhance your self-awareness and your regulation. And as I said, practice delaying gratification and making deliberate decisions that will align with your goals. Number 4, stay accountable and seek support if you need it. Accountability fosters commitment and motivation. And I have my manager who is my accountability partner. And just having him there and speaking to him weekly makes me move a lot more than I would, because I then have to explain to him, if I decide to have the week off, I have to explain to him why I did that, why I didn't move forward, why I didn't do anything for the week. And for me, that's a difficult conversation. So it's easier for me to just do the work that I've said that I'm going to do. So staying accountable or having somebody to help keep you accountable, and that's in the seeking support. The support systems also really provide encouragement, especially when you're going through challenging times. So you can share your goals with family or friends or mentors, or find yourself an accountability partner. Regularly update them on your progress and ask them for feedback and advice when you need it. It's also a really good idea to engage with communities or groups that have similar goals or aspirations, and you can share your experiences and learn from others. A little bit like our Facebook community group that we have called the Self-Improvement Room. Join our community, and we'll leave the link in the show notes for you, and share your experiences and learn from others. And number 5, celebrate progress and learn from setbacks. Celebrating small wins reinforces positive behaviors and sustains motivation, as long as you don't over-celebrate. Again, back to that biology dopamine thing. If you release too much dopamine, then, or if you want too much of a reward and you celebrate too much, then the come down is quite difficult. So celebrate small wins in a small way to reinforce that positive behavior, and learn from the setbacks. So by learning from your setbacks, you are growing and you are becoming more resilient. But again, it's also important to celebrate the whole journey. Every day, you are getting up and you are chasing something that matters to you. Find the celebration in that. And again, as I said, reward yourself, not over the top, but reward yourself for the small victories. The fact that you are actually progressing and moving towards the goals that you have set for yourself. And then reflect on your setbacks. Identify where the lessons that you've learned are and use those as opportunities for growth. Too many people just look at the setbacks and they just look at where they are headed rather than where they came from. There's a really great book called The Gap and the Gain, and we'll leave a link in the show notes for it, but it talks about people who are on the path to achieving their goals and dreams, but they are always trying to look forward to what's next. So they'll achieve something and then they'll go, okay, what's next? Okay, what's next? And then they finally achieve everything and they're like, okay, what's next? I used to be this person all of the time, and I was just looking for what's next. And I realized that is not the way to live life. We kind of get stuck on the hedonic treadmill where we're kind of just looking for the next thing, looking for the next thing, looking for the next thing. And this book, The Gap and the Gain, talks about looking back and having a look at the gains from where you were to where you are now, rather than looking at where you are now forward and the gap that is there to get from where you're at to where you want to go. So focus on the things that you have achieved. Look at where you came from, not always where you're going. That was a hard one for me to begin with, but I have taken away so much from that particular tip or lesson that is now how I live my life. So there are some tips to help you understand, firstly, what discipline is. Secondly, why it is important in chasing your dreams. You can absolutely make any dream a reality. I really do believe that. And, people sometimes say things like, get your head out of the clouds, or why do you think you can do that? Or, that's not for you, or that's not reality. But somebody's done it. Somebody created Facebook. Somebody created the iPhone. Somebody is Tom Cruise. Somebody is Taylor Swift. Who is the next somebody? Who's to say that you can't be that next somebody? You are already somebody. But I guarantee when you start to understand and believe in yourself, you will really see that you can achieve whatever you want in life. But you do need to have that belief, firstly, and you need to cultivate discipline. It really is one of the main ingredients for transforming your dreams into a reality. Creating consistency, overcoming obstacles, maintaining your focus, and learning resilience. It's a really important part of achieving meaningful and sustainable success. So while passion and ambition ignite inspiration, discipline, I think, is the fuel that the journey really needs to turn those inspirations into reality. So there you go. And the first step that you should take is joining us at the Self-Improvement Room Facebook group. We'll leave the link in the show notes, and make sure you follow the podcast. This is the Self-Improvement Room. I'm Christy Davis, and until next time, stay safe and stay well.